special program, Capital Beat. The opposition meeting in Bangalore has ended, and just a short while back, heads of 26 political parties, they addressed the press. And what were the major outcomes? That was the million-dollar question. Kharge had introduced whatever deliberation happened in the meeting. And the first and the foremost, I mean, the biggest point which came out of the meeting was the name of UPA has been changed, and it is now called India. Now, let me tell you the full form of what India means in terms of the opposition alliance. I stands for Indian, N for national, D for developmental, I for inclusive, and A for alliance. That is India, which is the nomenclature for the new opposition alliance. Now, apart from that, there was a consensus on a secretariat or common secretariat. Then there's going to be an 11-member coordination committee, which will be formed. The next meeting of the opposition will take place in Mumbai, and that's where who the convener of this opposition alliance will be will probably be decided. Now, since the time the new name India has gone on the Twitter and social media and everywhere, people have started saying that, can Modi take on India? And in fact, if you look at the Twitter timelines of all the opposition parties, in a unified voice, they all have tweeted, Chak De India. Most of the opposition leaders have said, Chak De India. Now, the million-dollar question is that, can Modi take on India? If you look at the address by the different political party heads today at the press conference, say, for example, Mamata Banerjee, she said that, can you challenge India? So that's where the entire crux of this opposition meeting in Bangalore lies. And I'm going to begin the discussion. I'm joined by Javed Ansari, senior journalist. Thank you so much for joining. Siddharth Sharma joins us, who's a political commentator. Thank you so much. Pushpraj Deshpande, who's the director of the Samrit Bharat Foundation, and also the editor for the Penguin India Rethinking series. And I think Vivek Deshpande, senior journalist, will. Now, let me begin with Javed Ansari. And Javed-ji, if you can hear me clearly, I would really want to know that what is the political symbolism behind this name, India? Yes.
Well, the political symbolism is that it's very difficult to lampoon, very difficult to make light of, very difficult to make fun of. It pits in Mr. Modi against India, especially for a prime minister, for a leader who's particularly fond of acronyms. You know, he coins acronyms at the top of a hat. Now the big challenge is to see if he can do better than that. And today the opposition has already decided, chosen to take the initiative, taken the battle, so to say, to his camp, with Mamata Banerjee taunting him and taunting the BJP. Can Mr. Modi, can the BJP, can NDA take on India? Can they defeat India? Can they challenge India? And as far as the opposition would have its belief, it will be a resounding no as far as the opposition is concerned. While this is an important step, a significant step, I do believe the sterner tests lie ahead. The biggest challenge, two big challenges will be coming to a seat arrangement, agreeing to a seat arrangement. It's not going to be easy, and I'm of the view that it will go down to the wire, but eventually they'll clinch it. And finally, on the name, there are lots of names. There are a couple of names now doing the rounds, and the indication is that the opposition could come up with something out of the box. I would not want to preempt them because it's wrong to actually try and get into the minds of leaders. So let's wait, leave it to them to come up. But important things, the nuts and bolts of this alliance are being put in place now. So there'll be a secretariat. There'll be an 11-member coordination committee, because, you have to work on this on a daily basis. The nuts and bolts, the minor irritants will come up. There'll be issues they need to coordinate. So the second-run leaders will then sit together. It'll be an 11-member committee and a secretariat, much like what happened on the National Front when Nanti Rama Rao was the convener and VP Singh was the spearhead, was the face of that campaign in 1987, 1989. So that secretariat will be based in Delhi, and it will deal with the day-to-day working is to try and put things together. They will, of course, what will follow is talking points, common amendment program, etc. And who knows, maybe before or after, they may choose they may decide on a phase. So we'll have to wait for that. But for now, I think significant step taken forward, but bigger challenges await.
Significant step taken, but of course, many challenges there. Siddharth, if I may come to you, that in terms of perception, because politics is also all about perception, and in terms of perception, if I may ask you, by coining the word India, which actually epitomizes the spirit of the opposition for whatever they've been fighting for all this while, whether it is inclusivity, whether it is democracy, has opposition got a kind of a head start over NDA? Can I ask you this? Yes.
Yes, I think, Neelu, what has happened in the past 2 or 3 days is that first 3 punches have been landed on the BJP, and all the 3 punches have come from the opposition alliance, and all the 3 punches are pretty strong. The first punch was when they managed to get these political parties in Bangalore. Essentially, they represent 23 states in India where they are either the government or the opposition, versus the BJP's alliance today has only 20. BJP's alliance has only strength in 20. So there's already more than 10% advantage numerically for the opposition. The second was very important, that can they come up with a simplified narrative? The whole acronym, because BJP in fact revels in euphemisms and innuendos. It will be very difficult for the BJP to come up with any kind of innuendo or euphemism to be coined against India. So that simplified narrative was the second punch. And the third and the most important punch, I've been watching the BJP spokespersons, including the Honorable Prime Minister, who's been speaking for the past few days regarding the opposition unity. Right from the Prime Minister onwards to BJP spokespersons, everyone is just lampooning, trying to find complaint and wailing against the opposition, that this is there might be 150 arguments to that they are an opportunistic alliance, this, that. I'll not go into that. But the point is that the BJP, including the Prime Minister, have not been able, that for the 9 years, they have not been able to eulogize any of their achievements for the last 9 years. They are just in a complaining mode. And the nice thing about today's India Conclave Summit in Bangalore was the Delhi CM's blueprint for this India front, which says that we stand for healthcare, we stand for education, we stand for employment. That also means that the front called India is not just working against BJP, it also has a progressive and constructive agenda. This third punch right now is bleeding the nose of BJP very badly, because right now BJP is only in a complaining mode. They have not yet come about to speak about their achievements in the last 9 years. They've just been in a complaining mode. So I think the bottom line is first 3 punches have landed, and all the first 3 punches have gone. The first 3 punches, 3 rounds have gone to Team India right now. I think so.
Right. Okay. Vivek, if I may come to you, now the next opposition meeting is going to be in Mumbai, and venue does hold a lot of significance, because immediately after the Karnataka victory, if the second meeting was in Bangalore, there was a lot of symbolism attached to it in terms of opposition coming back to power and with such a thumping majority. Now, since the next venue has been chosen as Mumbai, what do you think would be the real political significance, given the fact that in Maharashtra, we don't have a Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government. And then, of course, the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi seems to have got weakened, especially now with the NCP split. Though Sharad Pawar was present there in today's meeting, Supriya Sule landed yesterday. But what could be the political significance? Because many people with whom I'm in touch, they are saying that probably the next meeting in Mumbai could be in the form of a huge rally, where Mr. Kharge himself said that apparently the convener will be announced, then the 11-member coordination committee is going to be announced. So there will be a lot of takeaways. So it's going to be a big affair. So why in Mumbai? Yes.
Yeah, Nilu, I think it's very significant because Mumbai has been the battleground between opposition and BJP, the kind of which we haven't seen for a long time in the last 10 years. And numerically, of course, MVA looks a little bit weakened. But, if you look at the support base, Uddhav Thackeray's support base and Mr. Sharad Pawar's support base is largely intact. So numerically and outwardly, it seems that MVA has been weakened a bit. But I think their strength on the ground still is very formidable, and the BJP knows that very well. Shinde and his group had come to BJP as some sort of a stopgap arrangement, because the BJP was always eyeing to get Mr. Ajit Pawar and his group. But what has happened of late is over the last 2-3 days is very significant. You see, it seems that Mr. Ajit Pawar has not been able to muster the kind of numbers that he initially came out with, 36. And when the monsoon session of the Maharashtra legislature began, there were only 25 overall NCP legislators in the in the assembly, of which 9 were from the Sharad Pawar group and the remaining were from Ajit Pawar's group. And of them, 9 were the ministers, of course. So where are the remaining people with Ajit Pawar? They are not to be seen anywhere. And perhaps that is the worry that Ajit Pawar has, and that's why most of these NCP people are now flocking to Yashwantrao Chavan Center to meet Sharad Pawar and kind of cajole him and coax him into accepting unified NCP. But Mr. Pawar is staying put. His foot is put down, and it seems that the NCP group led by Ajit Pawar is very uncomfortable as of now, and naturally BJP would be very, very uncomfortable. So as the situation unfolds in a very, very unpredictable manner in Mumbai, the next rally of the opposition at Mumbai will certainly have a great moral boosting effect on MVA, and BJP would be certainly reeling under the kind of pressure that it has been experiencing of late. So very, very significant. It seems that the opposition has decided to come to Mumbai. It will certainly provide a big boost to MVA. And of course, I mean, Mumbai is the financial capital of the country. And after Delhi, Mumbai is the most important place politically and financially. So very cleverly chosen venues. Bangalore was also a very cleverly chosen venue, because in the history, in the past history, twice the opposition-led alliances have worked from there, have started off from there, and they have unseated the governments in Delhi. So very, very symbolically, they are doing everything fine at the moment. Let's see what happens in future, Neelu.
So Maharashtra indeed looks like a big political battlefield, and therefore a lot of messaging could emanate from Mumbai. But Pushparaj, if I may come to you, that today in the meeting, we also got to know that Mallikarjun Kharge admitted to the fact that Congress is not interested in the PM post. Now, what does that mean? I mean, if you look at the things vis-a-vis this entire alliance called India, where does Congress go from here on? And also the fact that we see a lot of imprint of the Bharat Jodo Yatra in this word India, whether it is democracy, whether it is inclusivity. We do see a lot of imprint of the Congress. People also said that this word apparently was suggested by Rahul Gandhi. But what I want to know from you, that since Kharge ji has admitted to the fact that Congress is not interested in the PM post, where do you see Congress in the scheme of things, and what is going to be the role of Congress in this entire India alliance?
Hi, Neelu. So I think more than the Bharat Jodo Yatra, I'm sure it has an imprint. It does have some.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sure it has. The Bharat Jodo Yatra has some impact on this coinage, but I'm very certain that perhaps India has more of an impact on India more than anything else. I agree with Javed Saab when he said that it will be difficult for them to spin an acronym or make any kind of argument against this. Having said that, I think it reflects a lot of maturity on the part of the Congress president, and more importantly, on the Congress party, willing to cede ground to other allied parties, saying that, you take the front foot. We are not making a claim for the prime minister's post, probably making the assertion that we can do this after the elections on a post-poll kind of scenario. So this shows a lot of political maturity, and in this, they are probably more interested in stitching together the alliance. So I think this in a sense shows that more than the symbolic nuts and bolts that have tripped up the opposition in the past, they are more interested in forging together a substantive alliance on issues. Otherwise, they wouldn't have spent so much time. I mean, think about it. The last 4 general elections that you've seen, Have you ever seen a common minimum program being discussed along with a core group of leaders before the general elections have been fought? This is the first time that you're seeing this in the last 4 election cycles. And in that sense, I think it's very smart politics. For the first time, the opposition is setting the agenda after Karnataka, that is, of course. They're setting the agenda, and there is a certain nervousness on the BJP. Think about the fact that the BJP has a massive propaganda machinery.
Right.
For the if they are not really focusing on the narrative spinning abilities, but are having to get together arithmetic to showcase that, boss, we are equally a place or better place than the India alliance. There is certain there is a certain nervousness in the BJP's part. Otherwise, they won't have sent out an SOS signal to all their allied parties. This is basically "Hame bachao,"
Right.
kal ho na ho types.
Yes, Javedi, you raised your hand, but also I have a question for you that the point which Pushpraj was making right now, and as we are speaking, there is an NDA meeting which is on. Some 39 parties have joined the BJP, and a meeting of the NDA partners is on. Do you see this as a show of strength, which is like a counter almost to the opposition meeting in Bangalore? Yes, Javedi.
I do not see this so much as a expression of confidence, but a sign of weakness. Just 2 months ago, the Prime Minister was thumping his chest and saying कि सारा देश देख रहा है कि एक बेचारा सबके खिलाफ लड़ रहा है. So BJP, this is also a tacit admission on the part of the BJP that it cannot go it alone. It cannot bank on the charisma of the Prime Minister, and that they need the support of the allies. As far as addressing this question of where the Congress stands, the Congress is very central, is front and center of this alliance of India. Let's not beat about the bush. The fact is that after the Bharat Jodo Yatra, the momentum generated by Bharat Jodo Yatra and the victory in Karnataka, the efforts to bring the opposition together have received a huge vote of confidence, a huge vote of confidence. It's a tremendous surge in momentum. That's what has brought them. That's what's given them hope that, look, the BJP can defeat it. This is what has burst the myth. Congress saying, Mr. Kharge saying that we are not interested in prime ministership is a gesture, because there is a thinking now amongst the decision makers of the Congress party that the priority has to be to defeat the BJP. The priority has to be to ensure that Mr. Modi, Mr. Shah, and company do not get a third term. That has to be the priority. Everything else will follow. And therefore, once you understand that, then this gesture of Mr. Kharge's part falls into place, that we are not interested in prayer. This is also a message to reassure allies that, look, let's not quibble over this. We are not pushing our case. We are not trusting our leadership or our opinion, our choice of leader and you. We'll all collectively do it. The fact of the matter is, in 2004, they didn't put out a face. Mr. Manmohan Singh was not that candidate. They didn't put out a face. But once if the numbers fall in place in the summer of 2024, then the Congress will address that question. Right now, addressing that question is jumping the gun. And right now, they can afford to be generous. Their whole priority is to get the opposition together to ensure that they come. So that's why they went 1.5 miles to try and placate Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. So the Congress party is, they are everybody's favorite punching bag. When somebody is down, it's very easy. Some people have made a profession out of this of punching the Congress party. But that's a different story. The fact is, you have to give them credit as well. And they have in the past, and now in the last couple of months, acted with a fair amount of maturity. They are doing the hard yards, and therein lies hope that the opposition can success, because Congress is the fulcrum, a weak fulcrum, but nonetheless the fulcrum around which the rest of the opposition will evolve.
Right. Siddharth, if I may come to you, and just to bring the attention of the viewers to what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said this morning, just before the opposition meeting was starting. He was in Port Blair at the Veer Savarkar International Airport, where he targeted the opposition parties, saying that for them, family comes first, nation later. And then he said that they are all people who are neck deep into corruption and all sorts of things he said. Now, when this is the narrative which the NDA will adopt or Prime Minister Narendra Modi will adopt, and the kind of narrative which the opposition parties, the India Alliance will bring, and they will talk about democracy, they'll talk about inclusivity, price rise, inflation, at least that's what we are thinking that the India Alliance will rake up as issues. So who do you think will have an edge? Will the common man on the street buy what the India Alliance is saying, or they will still go with the Modi Bhakti and say that, no, we will vote for Modi? Who seems to have an edge? Yes.
Yeah, I think, Neelu, by the time you fly from Port Blair to Delhi, there's a big Bay of Bengal and a lot of water has flowed between the time someone flew from Port Blair and landed up in Delhi. Now, whoever is going to attack Team India is going to attack India. So it becomes very difficult. So what happened in the morning doesn't hold good water by evening. Now, my point is, since I'm in Bangalore and I'm in a field in which I need to know things, the fly on the wall of the summit in Bangalore that happened, because most of the leaders stayed overnight in Bangalore. The fly on the wall tells me that they have agreed to much more than what they are divulging in public. They have agreed to much, much more. I think that is strategic thinking, that I think it is tactically intelligent of them. They are taking it like a soap opera. It's like a Netflix movie. Every week they come out with a good installment, and that is how tactically, because to defeat BJP takes up elections on a very serious war footing. And I think that Team India is now up to the challenge. They are also thinking strategically. The coinage of India itself very clearly shows that they understand what simplified messaging is, and how to ensure that this kind of euphemisms and innuendos thrown by the BJP can be well deflected. Sure. I think and the more important thing is that I think at the cost of repeating, right now people are seeing that the BJP is only attacking the opposition, and Team India is speaking about something like we are going to have a futuristic and progressive plan for India, which includes healthcare, which includes education, which includes employment. So there itself, I think that difference itself becomes so stark that it becomes very difficult for BJP. I think the BJP will have to now come to the pitch of Team India and play on their backyard.
Right, absolutely. But Vivek, the most, the stickiest question which will be asked of the alliance and of course by the BJP will be that who is going to be the head of the alliance in terms of the prime ministerial candidate. Now, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge said that the convener might be announced in the next Mumbai meeting. Now, how soon will the question on the prime ministerial candidate be addressed? Or will the opposition, the India Alliance, will delay it as much as they can and probably announce a candidate after the elections is over and see the results there?
Nilu, that's the most important question. What had happened in 2019?
Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. So in 2019, BJP wanted this Modi versus Rahul battle because the image of Rahul had taken a beating, and they clearly wanted to spell out that Mr. Modi is the choice before the country, not Rahul. So they had a benefit in having it Modi versus Rahul. But over the last 5 years, the image of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, particularly after Bharat Jodo Yatra, has surged a lot. And as some of the surveys show, he is now at par with Mr. Modi. Although Mr. Modi's popularity has not gone down, but Rahul Gandhi's popularity has gone up. Now, in the event of this development, and looking at the BJP strategy, how they have disqualified him from the parliament, and maybe they are planning to put him in jail. Many people say whether they will be able to do that or not, nobody knows. But they clearly don't want Modi versus Rahul in this particular election, which they very badly wanted in 2019. Now they want to avoid this confrontation of personalities between Mr. Modi and Rahul Gandhi. And because opposition has a lot of parties together, they cannot certainly decide at this moment who is going to be their prime minister candidate. But the people it would be at the back of voters' mind as to who are they going to vote as the prime minister of India. This question remains. So would they like to see Mr. Modi again, or would they like Mr. Rahul Gandhi to become prime minister? Now, if they have Rahul Gandhi in their mind, and if they don't know whether he is going to be the prime minister, what is going to be his future, then the voter would be in a dilemma. Because if Mr. Rahul Gandhi's image has surged, then people would be expecting him to be the Prime Minister of India. And in that event, not to decide on the Prime Minister candidate, just to keep it very vague, would be quite dicey. But then the opposition has to take that risk. Whether they take that risk or not, many people suggest that Mr. Kharge should also be projected as a Prime Minister, the first Dalit Prime Minister of the country. So that somebody's hello.
Yes.
So is it a risk worth taking? I mean, whether they are going to project Rahul Gandhi or Mr. Kharge, and whether all the opposition parties are going to agree to that, that's a very tricky question. But one question remains is the voters would always look at the prospect of somebody from the opposition becoming the Prime Minister, and who that person would be is a question that that can be anonymously answered through some kind of a whisper campaign. I don't know how they do it, but Mr. Rahul Gandhi's name must keep doing the rounds among the electorate, because they would have certainly Rahul Gandhi in their mind as an alternative to Modi. Let's see. I mean, it all boils down to the fact that
Vivek, what you're saying that time to time the alliance will have to rake up Rahul Gandhi's name. And if I may ask Pushpraj, that now with Kharge having said that PM post will not probably be taken up. Yes.
Neelu, I have to go to another channel. I told you, so please excuse me if you can.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. So Pushpraj, I was just wanting to ask you that Kharge ji has today said that Congress is not interested in the PM post. Now with the fact what Vivek is suggesting, that people will expect Rahul Gandhi to become the prime ministerial candidate at some point of time, if not immediately, then where do you see the chemistry of the alliance? Then, of course, things are not going to be as easy. For that matter, Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, it's almost like a clash of titans then. Would that be so easy?
No, so I think I'd rather stay in the realm of reality than speculation right now. The fact is that Kharge ji has said that the Congress party is not interested in projecting a prime ministerial force. And I'm a student of history. If you study Maratha history, the only way to beat a behemoth is guerrilla warfare. And in this, I really think that the one good thing that the India Alliance has done is to make sure that the focus is not on faces, but on issues. And I think the challenge here for them, I genuinely feel this, like in the Karnataka election, like in other elections in the past, like most importantly, the 2004 election, if they are able to smartly rake up people's issues on the issue of unemployment, on the issue of price rise, on the issue of the caste census, on the issue of the farmers issue, and so on and so forth, Adivasi issues, Dalit issues. If you're able to localize the campaign to people's issues, region-specific campaigns, then I think that the issue of the face will not arise. That's one thing. And tactically, I think that is the way they should go. And the second thing is that all of these issues are also, remember, confidence-building measures. This alliance is not just going to last if God willing, that there is there's a change in government in 2024. This alliance will also have to work in government. So the fact is that 9 months is not enough to just build confidence very quickly. You need to take small steps so that you're able to, play the entire innings. And I think in general, the media also would do better. I mean, certainly the Godi media will try very hard to keep asking this question, ki chehra kaun hai? But the पंखा थोड़ी बेच रहे हैं लोग कि 6 महीने के बाद ये वारंटी ले लो, वो ले लो, ये नहीं है ना. They're going to have to focus on issues. That's it. Let's focus on that. Let's localize.
Okay. So for the concluding comments, Siddharth, if I may come to you, has NDA lost the firepower? Has Modi lost the firepower, if I may ask you? And for that concluding comment, then I'm going to end the show. Yes.
Yeah, it's too early to say that, because this is a boxing round of 12 rounds and it's just 3 rounds now. It's a 1 year long battle. But the point here is very simple. A sick person, for example, if I'm sick and if I go to a doctor, I go for some kind of medicine. I'm not going to go to that doctor to listen to deficiencies of another doctor. So what will essentially happen is that going forward, BJP will back off from innuendos and bad mouthing, and it will start to eulogize its own achievements. Now, the challenge before Team India would be, would it keep raising people's issues or start giving solution to people's issues? Because the more you raise people's issues, you are in fact pressing the already pain points. So I think if after the simplified narrative, if they can come up with certain solutions, which I think, again, at the cost of repetition, I'll say, the Delhi Chief Minister said that we will be working for some kind of education for all, healthcare for all. So these are solution-oriented things. Once you go for solutions, then you force BJP to play on the back foot. I think that is going, if they are intelligent, I think Team India will play that way.
Okay, so all eyes now would be on the next meeting in Mumbai. But of course, don't miss out what's going to happen on the Twitter space and the social media space tomorrow after the India Alliance Today has been announced. Thank you so much, Siddharth, Pushparaj, Vivek. It was wonderful having you on the program. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching The Federal, subscribe to our